Welcome to Cartoonist Kayfabe. We traveled a far distance for this shoot interview today. My name is Ed Piskor. I'm here with Takashi Okazaki, creator of AFRO Samurai and his latest work for Marvel Comics, Star Wars Visions, where he kind of took the George Lucas influence full circle from Kurosawa back to Star Wars and back to Kurosawa again with the Star Wars Visions comic. Aki Yanagi is here to help with translation. He also helped translate the Marvel comic. Takashi, thank you so much for having me in your studio, having the Cartoonist Kayfabe audience visit you. I look forward to talking to you and to getting into the depths of your career. So, one of the things that fascinated me in some of the dinners that we had this trip, I asked if you knew C.B. Cebulski, the editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics, and you said that he wasn't the guy who brought you into Marvel. So I'm curious how that came about.
スター・ウォーズの漫画に関してはそういう経緯なんですけど、僕がマーベルのそのカバーの仕事を始めたきっかけは、いつだったかな、もうすごく前のニューヨークコミコンの時に、たまたまアーティストアレイの裏で、インクのを書いてた若者に声かけて、で、おーすげえ解明書液使ってんじゃんみたいなそう話をしたら、その子がまだ駆け出しのインカーで、イタリア系のロブっていう子に会ったんですよ。はい、ロベルト・ポッキっていうのかな、読み方は。
スペルわかります？
はい、スペルわかります。で、その子とその後なんかやり取りをして、で、いやじゃあちょっとマーベルのエディターにちょっとボブのこと紹介していいかみたいな話になって、もう全然やりたいって言ってがきっかけだったと思います。だからロブが紹介してくれて、そこから入った感じだったと思いますね。
ポッキーのスペルってどういうスペルかわかります？
POGGI。はい。
ちょっと今ここまで訳します。
はい、すみません。
So, for the Visions comic, it was kind of from the flow that he actually was working for the Disney Plus short animations, the Visions, and then that kind of went into also creating the comic. But how he started for Marvel was a different story. It was quite a long ago. He was at New York Comic Con and he met this inker at the artist alley of New York Comic Con. His name was Roberto Poggi or Hockey, Poggi, and they became friends. They kind of like go back and forth, communicating. And then Rob actually said to Bob, Okazaki-san's called Bob, and said that Rob will introduce Bob to Marvel, and that's kind of how he started doing covers for Marvel. 何年前か覚えてますか？最初のカバーって何だか覚えてます？
最初のカバーはWerewolf by Night、
何年でした？
ちょっと待ってくださいね。
Sorry, I'm kind of getting in your work, but I just asked when it was it and what was his first work for Marvel.
That's perfect. That was going to be the question. Yeah, you're on point.
I thought it was a good flow to ask. So.
That is a good flow to ask.
Yeah, it was Werewolf by the Night, and he's trying to figure out when and where was it. I mean, when was the first cover he did?
2020? 2020?
2020年の1月ですね。
2020 January was the date.
Yeah.
For the cover. Yeah.
Okay, so started work in 2019-ish.
実際の作業は2019年ぐらいですね。
そうですね、19年の。
でもコロナのちょっと前。
そうです。
Just a little before the COVID.
Oh yeah, so just after we met.
そう。
あ、そっか、あの後なんだ。
そうですね。
それより前からやってんのかと思ってそれ。
やってないですね。
あ、そうなんですね。
そういえばそうだわ。
俺もあの頃すでにマーベルの仕事してんだと思ってた。
やってなかったです。
そうなんですね。面白い。So
yeah,
he started working for Marvel after we met for the first time. I mean, I met for the first time with Takashi and Bob.
Right. let's take things back to the Afro Samurai Dojinshi, and I'm so curious about how that worked out, because it was a small print run, but it reached such big heights. So I wonder how that worked at the beginning. I think there were only a couple thousand copies, or maybe 1,000 copies, but it got into the right person's hands to create an anime, multiple languaged editions. I'm curious, like let's take it back. How did Afro Samurai begin?
長い話になりますが、
It's gonna be a long story.
同人誌を始めた、友達、近所の飲み仲間でみんなイラストレーターとか志望だったんですけど、全然金なくて、仕事もなくて、で仕事来たと思ったら描きたくない絵ばっかり描かされてて、でもなんかもうこんなんやってんだったら自腹切って好きなことやろうぜみたいな感じで同人誌を始めて、でなんかこうだからね、最初は200部とかでしたね。お金なかったんで、でそれをこういろいろやってたらそのうちの兄がスメリーっていうそのパフォーマーで、結構有名だったんです、その当時。
すごいテレビ一時期出てましたよね。
でそのスメリーのその人脈というか、そのつてでそのノーノウハウっていう名前の同人誌だったんですけど、
ノーノウハウ、
はい、でそれでその何人かでこうアート系のフィギュアを出そうみたいな話になって、でフィギュア化されまして、
買いました私。
ありがとうございます。
でかっこよかったんでダンテにプレゼントしました。ダンテカーバーに。
ありがとうございます。
だから今ダンテが持ってます。
指
輪付きのやつ。指輪付きのやつ。
そうですそうです。マジっすか。うわ
モンスタージャパンで買いました俺。
マジっすか。やばいっすねそれ。
ごめんなさい。
すいません。でそのフィギュアを見たそのアニメスタジオのゴンゾの当時のアメリカ人プロデューサーがこれやばい、これ絶対アメリカで売れるよって言って、それでアニメ化の話になったっていう経緯ですね。
じゃあここまで取れてします。So the long story beginning. When he was still like starting out, he made a doujinshi with his friends. Everybody was like starting out illustrators, and they didn't have much money and they didn't have much work. And even if they got work, it was work that the things that they just did it for the money and they didn't really want to do it. And they got a little stressed out. So let's just do something fun, and that's how the doujinshi started. And the very first doujinshi, the title was No Know-How, and they only printed 200 copies.
Wow.
Only 200. But his big brother was a very famous performer, and his name was Smelly, and I saw him a lot on TV for a while. And his big brother had some connections with other people, and kind of
family big brother or
family big brother.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
That's the actual blood connected
I
big
see.
brother. Yes, not the watching you or
like Senpai Kohai.
Or nothing. It was the hip hop kind of thing. A real big brother.
Yeah.
And so he had some known people on the art community. So he had the chance to make an Afro Samurai action figure.
Yes. Get me one of those. Thank you so much.
And actually bought one too. And so he made that, and that caught an eye of a producer of an animation studio called Gonzo back then.
Okay.
And that animation producer was an American guy and thought that this will sell real well in the States. So that's how the animation project started.
So it was from the toy, not the comic, that inspired the animation.
そうね、一番最初はフィギュアが入りでっていう感じでしたね。
Yes, it was a figure that kind of.
だって同人誌だって200部とか300部だったんで。
自分も持ってなかったの、在庫下手したらその辺。
僕ももうちょっと探したんだけど、ちょっと見当たらなくて。
やっぱしないですよね、そんだけ少ないからね。He doesn't have his first doujinshi too.
When you made your doujinshi, did you take it to Comiket or Comitia? I know the answer, but the people don't.
どこで売ったんですか？コミケとかコミティアじゃないですよね。
そうなんです。
でも多分見てる人は知らないんで教えてください。
そうです。その当時そのコミケとか知らなくて、そういう文化があるっていうのを、でみんな高円寺だったんで、その高円寺の近辺の本屋にみんなで本持って、でこれ置いてくださいって言って、こう手売りですよね、要は。
ぶっちゃけあんまし岡崎さんオタク文脈ない方の人ですよね、きっとね。
そうなんですよね、あんまりそっち系じゃないんで、てか周りのみんなも
アート系の方。
そうですね、みんなこう美大出てみたいなタイプだったんで、
オタクがいなかったんです、周りにね。
そうなんです、全くそっちつながりがなくて、なんでもう本当高円寺文庫センターってね昔あったんですけど、あそこにはすごいお世話になったりとか、あと中野ブロードウェイのタコシェとか、もうタコシェも扱ってくれましたね。そういうところにもこうできたら持っていく、10冊ずつとかっていう感じでしたかね。
ちょっと訳します。
はい。
So when he first printed his doujinshi, he never knew about those kind of shows like Comic-Con or Comitia, and so with his friends he actually hand sold his doujinshi to bookstores around Koenji and the area. And so there was a Koenji Bunko さんでしたっけ？はい。There was a bookstore called Koenji Bunko that he sold a lot, and he also went to Nakano Broadway's Takoshe. If you're a little geek and know a little bit about the underground culture of Japan, it's very famous.
Yeah.
And so his doujinshi was sold like those at those places, and so it was all like hand sold in the first place with his friends that made the doujinshi. And I also asked him personally that I think there's like cultural differences between people in the otaku community and the art community.
Right.
And Bob is more from the art community, and he doesn't have anyone that as a friend that's in the otaku community, because if you're in the otaku community you'll come up with an easy answer of selling doujinshi at a doujinshi, like a show, like for like indie comic show, but he never knew nothing about those things back then.
So that makes me wonder, when you were pursuing a career, are you more interested in being an illustrator, an artist, or mangaka? Or all of them?
そういまだにねよくわかんないですけど、
そうですね、美術家、ファインアーティスト寄りなのか商業アーティスト寄りなのか、
まあ商業、よくわかんないですよね。
No, I kind of added a little bit if he's more like a fine artist or he's a commercial artist, but he doesn't understand a lot
なんかそ
himself.
の
He doesn't know which he is.
なんかその漫画を描き始めたのもその描きたいことがあってが先で、漫画が描きたいっていうのは後だったんですよね。漫画のをどう描くとかっていうのは。なんでやっぱりそうですね。なんか表現の手段の一つとして漫画がすごいこうピタッときたという感じですかね。
So even for manga, he doesn't think of becoming a mangaka. There was something that he wanted to express, and when he thought about it, the best way of expressing what he wanted to express was using the art and the meaning or the medium of manga. So that's how he started drawing manga. He didn't want to become a mangaka, but at the end there was manga that would be the best way to express what he wanted to express.
Growing up, were you an otaku? I see Lone Wolf and Cub manga and some other stuff that I'm not too sure what it is. Some Otomo books. What were your influences growing up? And that could extend beyond comics. I see Jay Dilla above our heads there. It could extend it to the music also, or movies. Star Wars, I see is.
あ、そうなんですね。
ごめんなさい。質問は
まあ子供の頃からオタクだったのかどうか、それとも例えばマニアだったのかとか、例えばここ見てるとスターウォーズのものがたくさんあって、あとは小島先生とか、多分エドは知らない。俺だったらわかるけど、 漫画とかやっぱちょっと偏った作品が多いのと、まあ大友さんはさすがに江戸もわかるけど、だから子供の頃からそういうの好きだったりとか、あとまあ J ディラのものもあったりとかもするんで、あくまでもその漫画とか映画とかだけじゃなくて、いろんなものがどんなものが少年として影響を受けて今の岡崎さんがあるのかっていうのが、まあ、ざっくりと質問ですかね。どんなものに影響を受けたとか、どんなものが好きだったとか、
なんだろう、
すごいマニアックだったのか、まあ、ある種のオタクだったのか、それともなんか自然とそういうのが好きだったのか。
まあそうだな、僕割と若い頃は自分はオタクだって思ってたんですよ。いろいろこうスター・ウォーズが好きだったり、まあアニメとかもすごい好きなんで、だったんだけど、なんかある程度大人になると、周りにもっとすごい人たちがいっぱいいて、あ、俺全然オタクじゃないや。まあだから本当に好きなものをただちょっとこう選んで買ったりとか集めたりっていう感じなんですよね。だからなんかね、すごい中途半端ですよね。なんかこう本腰入れたコレクターでもないし、
でもこのスター・ウォーズとかドロイドの量はやっぱちょっとすごいと思います、
なんか好きなものはずっと好きで、本当ヒップホップもずっと好きで、もう聴き続けてるし、時代劇もやっぱちっちゃい頃から大好きで未だに見てるし、そうですね。だからやっぱ時代劇、スター・ウォーズ、ヒップホップで結局やっぱアフロ侍になるんですよね。まあそういう、そうなんです。やっぱりこの3つがやっぱでかいんだな。
ブレてない。
そうですね。若い頃からこの3つはずっと長いですね。大学の頃からなんで。
So yeah, he thought he was an otaku when he was younger, but then as he grew up, he knew a lot of people, started knowing other people, and he was like, oh, I'm like only on the tip of the iceberg, and he sees a lot more deeper otaku around. So he says himself that he only knows a little bit and he's not a big collector, but still, from the kids, as a younger guy and then to present, the three things he kept on loving was Star Wars, jidaigeki, which is like samurai dramas and movies, and hip hop, and those three things combined is Afro Samurai.
Yes, yes, of course, man. One of the things that was very interesting coming to Japan and having conversations with people and asking them about their comic interests, their manga interests. So many people will say, no, I don't read manga. I just read this series, this series, this series, this series, this series. So like the way I ask the question comes off incorrect because they must think that if they're not full-blown otaku, but they still read manga. You see what I'm saying? They still read manga that has hundreds and hundreds of volumes. So with all that said, what were the comic interests that inspired your career besides the hip-hop stuff, besides the samurai movies? What kind of artwork?
So as a kid, his first big influence for an artist was Yasuhiko Yoshikazu, or Yoshikazu Yasuhiko. He was the character designer of Gundam, and about in the middle 80s he retired from animation and became a mangaka, and he was doing his own manga, but then he went back and he made his manga into anime. And one of the manga he did was called like a middle-aged fantasy called Arian, and there was an art book that came out when he was in grade school, and there was a signing and shake hand kind of a meeting that he was able to go. But a little sad story, they could only buy one book, and so his big brother got the art book and also the rights to get it signed. Right. So he can only shake hands, but still meeting him was big. Yeah. And he, at that time when he met Yasuhiko Yoshikazu, he thought that he'd become like him, and he wanted to make drawing a profession. And that, starting from that, he kept on reading all of his manga that he's drawn, and Yasuhiko Yoshikazu has drawn not just Gundam, but a variety of manga. And I might need to get you some too. His art is brilliant. Yeah. And so that was one. And after he grew up, and a little before he started the doujinshi, he met Goseki Kojima, and I think that there's no explanation needed for you.
Yeah, we'll just
But
say Lone Wolf and
Lone
Cub
Wolf and Cub
artist.
but he's done lots of samurai mangas, not just samurai, but basically samurai mangas. So that was big for him too. And I've asked other things that he was influenced by or he likes, and so some of the things that he likes were like Prisoner Number 6.
Yes.
He also likes Black Hole, the movie, and he thinks that he's an awesome movie.
Did you ever see Jack Kirby made a comic book of the Black Hole?
So, you have that book?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever seen it?
No,
Jack Kirby?
No. A little cut?
Yeah, a little piece of it.
Mm.
Next year you'll have it.
Yeah.
He also loves 2001 Space Odyssey, the movie, and Shintaro Katsu, the famous actor, and Meiko Kaji, the famous actress, and we were just chatting a little bit about how much Jeff Darrows knows more than we do.
Yeah.
And he's a little crazy about that. And he knows more about samurai movies than any of the Japanese,
He's deep. He's deep.
Very deep. And the last one that he was talking about was that when he was a kid, he asked his dad to get some, like a little gift when his dad went to the book, the Jimbocho area. And his dad got a Batman book, and that was David Mazzucchelli's Year One, and that was a big shock to him. And he thought that, compared to manga, American comics had a lot of freedom of expression, and he thought that he was just reading a live-action film on a paper. So that was a big influence to him, and still does give him an influence because of the Year One, and he thought that it was a total new experience for him.
Well, let's talk about the Batman Samurai Batman anime. How did you get connected with DC Comics or Warner Brothers to make that happen?
忍者バットマンのきっかけはどういう風にかかったんでしょうか。
忍者バットマンはワーナーブラザーズの日本のそのアニメのプロデューサーがこの企画を考えて忍者バットマンって絶対受けると言ってでじゃあ誰がいいかなって言った時にたまたま僕の作品をいろいろアフロ侍とかを知ってて声をかけてくれたっていう感じですね。
ワーナージャパン主導だったんですね、座組は。
はい、そうだったと思います。
里見さんじゃなかったんですね。
里見さんは後から入ってきた感じですね。
てっきり里見さん座組だと思って。
僕はそのワーナーから来ましたね。
Actually, there was a producer in Warner Japan, and Warner Japan used to have a division making anime in Japan. So the producer has known his work, like to say Afro Samurai, and that's how he got involved.
Did Jim Lee or the people at DC Comics pursue you to do any work or for covers or anything like that?
その DC 本体から例えばジムリーからなんか仕事くれとかそういう話はなかったんでしょうか。
来ないのよな。
No.
No, I can't believe that. Why they call me?
Yeah, it's just so fascinating because it's like, you do the big time work, but the comic guys don't.
It's quite popular in the States, right?
It is. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll cut all that.
Sorry, please cut that out.
Yeah. No problem.
But I need to tell him.
But I might keep the part where you say, "Please cut that out," just because that makes the audience nuts. They're like, "What got cut out?" Exactly.
それ面白いからそこだけは残しておいてもらう。
So Takashi, these days, well, actually, I think when we last hung out in 2019 before COVID and all of that, you were putting some final touches on Criterion Collection Godzilla illustration, Mechagodzilla. Super cool. It seems like a lot of your time in your career is spent doing kind of commercial art projects. Do you have time to do your own artwork, your own manga, to pursue your own kind of artistic visions, or too busy making that money right now from Marvel comic covers and things like that?
なるほど。そうなんですよね。僕は あんまり仕事以外で絵を描かないんですよ。でそのアフロ侍のじゃあ新作とか、また別のオリジナルのキャラクターとか、アイデアはいくつかあって、こうまあメモとか思いついたり、いいネタ見つけたらもうメモしたりとかっていうのは結構溜まってきてるんですけど、それをがっつりやってるっていうのはもうここもう何年もやってないですね。ずっと仕事で絵を描いてる感じですね。でもそのキャラクターデザイン、アニメのキャラクターデザインとか、そのイラストとかで、まあ特にキャラクターデザインかな、ですごいこうなんだろう、自分の作品のようにこうアイデアをこうどんどんこう注入していくスタイルでやってるので、
げっそり終わった。
そうですね、結構もう全力投球ですね、毎回そのキャラデザインに関しては。
なんで余計になかなか自分の時間が取れない。
そうですね、今そんな感じですかね。
So yeah, basically, whenever he gets commercial work or anything that has been asked to work on or to draw, he puts so much into it that he doesn't have a leftover, space or like stamina to do stuff of his own. He has some ideas. There are some, like ideas swirling around. He has some memos and stuff that he'd like to do maybe in the future. But right now, when he works on like illustration, or especially when he does character designs, he does more than you see in the designs. And so when he's done, he's like done. So he doesn't really have much more, space left to do something on his own. So all the time that he has to use it to draw the art that he has been asked to do.
So it is the Marvel comic covers the bulk of what is happening right now. Is there anything else that you could talk about that isn't secret that you're working on?
で今マーベルのカバーとかもやってると思うんですけど、最近やってる仕事ってマーベルのカバーがメインなんでしょうか、それとも今話せる範囲でなんか仕事されてるものとかで話せるものってありますか？
そうですね、マーベルのカバーが結構いろんな編集さんから声かけてもらってるんで、それをこう今年は結構書きましたね、枚数、で今年は基本マーベルの仕事は断らないって決めてたんで、一応全部受けたんですけど、でもこの間忙しすぎてちょっと1個断っちゃったんですけど、
しょうがない、
であと動いてるのはそのアニメの企画がいくつか、そのキャラクターデザインの仕事が、同時進行してるのと、あとそうですね、マーベルじゃないそのインディーのスタジオというか、出版社からのなんかキャラクターデザインとか、カバーの仕事とかもちょいちょい来てて、結構みんなねこの年末年明け締め切りだったりするんで、結構バタバタしてるんですけどね。
自分たちだけ遊んで一緒にやる人。
そうなんです。ホリデー前に振られて正月に提出みたいな感じなんで。
正月になるとあいつら働き出すからね。
そうなんです。
So he has a bulk of Marvel covers coming up, and this year's motto was not to turn down any of the offers that was given by Marvel, but he actually was too busy and he turned down just one cover he's regretting, but he couldn't do it because he was too busy. But basically, he's been doing a lot of Marvel covers, but the title he can't say, but he's working on several animation projects that he's doing some character designs, and he also got some offers from other indie or small publishers to do some covers and maybe some character designs. So he's been working on a lot right now.
Super fun, busy career. Do you work digitally most of the time, or do you draw on paper to do your character designs, or the Star Wars Vision comic, for instance?
デジタルかアナログかっていう話。
下書きはもう時間がないんで、もうデジタルでやっちゃってます。で、インクに関しては紙に書いてますね。
So he does the rough drawing on digital, and then he does the inks on actual paper.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I see the ink pens over there. What are we looking at? Some G pens, some zebra nibs?
そう、俺ね、G ペンがうまく使えなくて。
He's not good at G pens.
No?
じゃあもう全部あれです。
丸ペンとか
丸ペン
Yes.
あと、スクールペン。スクールペン。
スクールペン
Yeah.
うん、あと玉ペンとかですかね。が結構あとは筆ですね。
and brushes、ブラシはすごい、まあ後で多分エドがもう一回話せると思うけど、墨入れが特徴的ですもんね、岡崎さんってね。
そうですね。なんで、あ、そっか、スター・ウォーズはこっちか。一応、よいしょ。原画は、あ、これ、スター・ウォーズの
Oh, my goodness.
原画ですね。これが、
Hold that up. Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, so good.
原画です、
Wow.
わーかっこいい。
Yeah, that's beautiful.
こちらのページ1枚
ほとんど、やっぱタッチは全部筆で入れてます。
Yeah, I see. And there's some interesting like dry brush technique in there. And one of the things I really like in that comic is the very spare coloring. Some grayscale, and then you might get like a little hint of red or blue or green.
ちょっと一色だけポンと落としたりとかするのが、それがすごいエドもかっこいいです。
The people in the States want to know, that one guy, he had a purple lightsaber. Was that Samuel L. Jackson? Was that Mace Windu? The people want to know,
ア
Takashi.
メリカのファンは紫のライトセーバーのどこが、サム・ジャクソンかどうかが知りたい。
だから、
I think we need to cut that out too.
そう、だから僕もわかりません。
So he doesn't know.
Right. Yeah, that's funny. But when I saw that purple lightsaber, I remember an interview during Tarantino movies. They were asking Sam Jackson, like, what do you want to do next? He said, I want to be in one of those Star Wars movies, and I want to have a purple lightsaber. And George Lucas is like, okay, to both of them, man. It's always fun to see Samuel L. Jackson pop up in your comments on Instagram on every new piece. This piece right here, is that influenced by Mobius? Inkle?
Of course.
Oh, so cool. So cool.
And this god is George Lucas.
I see. That's amazing. That's amazing.
I don't know if they were able to put it, but there's a lot of hints about George in his story.
That's so cool.
And a lot of the name of the empires or the lands are based on all the George Lucas's states and stuff like that.
States?
Like the estates.
Estates. Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, you did him a favor by having the beard cover that big neck thing that he has. Yeah, that's one of the things that jumped out at me right away, man. When we saw that splash page, we're like, oh, man, that's Mobius. That's that Inkle piece with Jodorowsky.
アンカルのボドロフスキーとのページの多分オマージュじゃねえかなって。
そうです。
エドが Yes, true, that's right.
Beautiful.
しかも僕メビウスもホドロフスキーも大好きなんで。
Big fan of Mobius and Jodorowsky. Yeah.
How did you get to know Jeff Darrow?
ジェフ・ダローはどこで知ったの？
ジェフはね、そう僕が
You could relax yourself. You could be comfortable. Be comfortable. Be comfortable.
僕があれはそう僕がマッドハウスっていうスタジオで X メンのアニメをやってる時に僕ちょうどキャラクターデザインで入ってたんですよ。でその時にジェフが日本に来るから岡崎さんも一緒に飲みませんみたいな感じで誘われて、でその時に会ったのが初めて。
あれですね。リリースされなかった少林カウボーイのアニメを作りに来て。
そうです。
もっと言うと本当あれトライガンとクロスオーバーもする予定だったって。
あ、そうなんだ。
作ったんだけど結局内藤さん曰くそれもこれも全部カットだけど。There's a hidden story about Uncle Jeff being in Japan, and it's okay that he was here to make the Shaolin Cowboy anime, right?
Yeah, he talked about it plenty on our channel.
They were also making a Trigun crossover
with Shaolin Cowboy.
Yes.
Oh wow. Yeah, I had no idea about that.
Cameo, of course.
Oh, a cameo appearance. I
Yes.
see. Yes.
But I think they were going to come out vice versa. I think they were making like a long Trigun anime at that point.
I see.
They were supposed to be a cameo of the
Shaolin Cowboy.
And then in Shaolin Cowboys anime, Vash was supposed to be in.
So Madhouse is going to do both.
I forgot the details. But there was some sort of, like a personal.
Right, because Nighthall Sensei and Jeff Darrow know each other. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
So, but cut that whole story out.
Yeah.
Get him back. Well, so Jeff was here in Japan trying to make a Shaolin Cowboy anime, and he was also working for Madhouse, and they were making an anime version of X-Men, and he was a character designer.
Right. You did character designs on that X-Men?
本当ちょっとパートオブキャラクターデザイン
Yeah. Which characters? Did any of it make the screen?
なユーマン前半の敵なんですけど
覚えてないな。俺見たんだけどな。記憶すいません。
そうなんです。なんかあんまり多分オリジナルのキャラかもしれない。
そうなんかねアニメ用にいろいろと作っているはずなんですよ。それこそ箕輪さんとか箕輪豊さんとかも結構あれ関わってて。
ああ、そうか箕輪さんもやってた。
そうなんです。で箕輪さんのキャラでとかブラックウィドウとねトニー・スタークのやつはね箕輪さんキャラだったんですよ。なんか何本か作ったんですよね。
そうですね。僕は X-Men で、maybe original character.
I see.
Yeah.
So you met Jeff.
He was getting in and out at Madhouse at that time, and they had the chance to have like a Japanese style nomikai drinking party.
Yeah.
And he was asked to go out, and that's how he met Jeff Darrow.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, the very first piece of Jeff Darrow original artwork I ever saw was visiting you here out front. There was that frame piece that Jeff drew, and I never thought I would ever see a Jeff Darrow original ever in my life, man. So that's like one of those very, very cool connections. One of the things that we like to do back home in the U.S. is you make like a 5-year plan for your career. Try to figure out prepare yourself now for several years ahead. And do you have a plan with your career for the future, for how you see things playing out in an ideal situation? If everything goes your way, you'll do maybe X percentage commercial work, X percentage personal work, or what's the future look like for you?
5年計画として。
5年計画。
そう。もし自分の理想通りに進んでたとして5年後こうなってたりとかこういうプランで動けたらいいなみたいなのってありますかって。
そうですね。いやなんかその2019年にエドに会って、こうエドがしかもそのアメリカのルーファスとか、こうジム・マフットとかいろいろこうエド経由でそのアーティストをいろいろ紹介してくれて、柳さんにもお会いできてとかしてってなんかね、なんか漫画のコミュニティすげえなんかいいなって思ったんですよ。すごい楽しいなって思って、それまでずっとアニメばっかりだったんで僕。で今回その後にマーベルの仕事が来てデュエルの漫画も描けてとか、ですごくいい流れで来てるんで、多分この先僕はオリジナルの漫画を描くんだろうなっていう気がしてます。それはアフロサムライの新作なのか別のタイトルなのかわかんないですけど、それはここ1、2、3年ぐらいでやんなきゃいけないことだと思います。であとはもう5年後にはちょっと物が多すぎるんでもっと広いスタジオで仕事がしたいなっていう感じですね。
So after seeing you, he had the chance to meet people like Jim Mahfood, or like Rufus Dayglow, and maybe a little bit of me, but people for the comic community, and that was a big influence to him. So probably in the coming year, he thinks that he'll be drawing something of his own as a manga. Awesome. And after in 5 years, he also wishes to be working in a bigger studio because he has loads of ships here. So
ちょっともう too much です。
So are you interested in doing more Marvel comics, like Star Wars Visions, where you do the complete project yourself, writing, coloring, all that?
ビジョンズはもっとやりたいっていう意思はある。
It doesn't have to be Visions, but just more Marvel
マーベ
comics.
ルとかでも、まあオリジナルとも言ってましたけど、そういうのも興味ありますか？
いやもちろんビジョンズねちょっとやりたいですよね。
Yeah, if he can, he'd like to do more of the Vision story.
But there's nothing planned right now.
Right now, no. So I'll be sure to grab CB's neck and tell him to do more. Yeah,
You hear that, CB? We're coming for you, man.
yeah, I'll get you with good burger. And also known as bribing.
Yeah. Takashi-san, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us and the Cartoonist Kayfabe audience. Thank you so much. I know you got a lot of work to do. Get back to business, man. ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。ありがとうございました。